I've been working and traveling full-time for the past year and a half, almost 2 years, and I have to say that Medellin is getting very close to being in one of my top 3 spots of all the list of countries that I've tried, that I've worked in, and that I've lived in. And it's mostly because you have so many great options to work from, like the ones that I'm gonna show you. These are more like sit-down co-working spots, but cafeterias and coffee shops, there's thousands on every corner with great Wi-Fi. So after lunch, we headed out to the second spot that we were gonna work from. And this, we're going from the most common and accessible to probably the one that I was the most surprised about and one of the coolest in my opinion. I heard it's very, very cool for digital nomads, like it's specific for them. So we're gonna check it out. In general, I would overall still recommend staying in the Poblado Provenza area just because you have tons of places like this in walking distance. Medellin has become the go-to place for people working remotely, digital nomads, full-time travelers, and there's a reason to it. It's the perfect weather. You have the most amazing climate. The people are one of a kind, and I'm not just saying that because I am Colombian. They're literally one of a kind. They welcome every single person. There's tons of places to stay, good places to work out, and of course, really good places to work from. So today we're gonna start our little tour of the best places to work from in Medellin, Colombia. Let's go.
I've been on the road, I've been doing shows. Now we eating steak, remember sleeping on the floor. We're still in at the gas station.
So our first stop is a coffee shop. That's not only a coffee shop, but I heard it's very, very cool for digital nomads, like it's specific for them. So we're gonna check it out. I'm very excited. The easiest way to get around in Medellin is using Uber or Didi. Most of the time, the drivers might ask you to sit in the front. It's totally normal and it's very, very safe. Just be aware of it if you are coming to Medellin. From our Airbnb, Versus was about a 10-minute drive very close by and it looks stunning, so let's check it out. The whole menu is made right here in the hotel. He gave us a whole speech. They don't use any processed foods, any oils, any sugar, like as clean as it gets, guys. Super comfy seats, and of course, remote worker must-haves, outlets. Check. Gabe got this carrot cake, which is laminated almonds, Greek yogurt, and then I think he said no sugar, but the arequipe, which is like a traditional like Colombian kind of like sweet dulce de leche caramel thing. He said it's made like in a different way. This looks absolutely stunning. Take a bite. Looks good.
It doesn't taste sugary or anything. Wow.
Let me try. This is really good. I got a burger and this is big and chunky. This looks amazing. Look at these fries. These are papitas criollas, a little small potato. Got some sauces. Yummy. We're gonna go for it. I'm gonna take a huge bite. It's so good. And everything here is grass-fed. It's really good. And we're back. That was a great working sesh. However, I do have a couple of comments for the place. They did have loud music, so keep that in mind if you are like in meetings or doing things like that. Also found out that part of their hotel, in their amenities, they actually have a co-working dedicated space, but in order to access it, you either have to be staying there or you can sign up to their membership, which includes like everything that the hotel has except for staying there. Now, obviously, if you are coming to Medellin and you're looking for a place to stay that already has everything included, then Versus is a very, very great option, but there are many others around. And there's one in specific that I'm gonna show you later throughout the week. I hope you're as excited as I am to go to this spot. I heard it has a lunch, a full co-working spot, and it's a whole like place where they do events and everything. So I'm very, very excited to bring you along with me. Let's head out because the Uber gets here in 2 minutes. Stay tuned. We just finished the lunch. Now we're in the CoWork. So I'm whispering a little. It's time to get to work. Gonna do some editing, and then we'll catch up with my overall review of this place. Overall, I've spent now 2 months in Medellin, and I have to say that this is one of the best spots I have been to. And not only that, it's one of the greatest lunches I have tried. So I've spent 2 months in Medellin, and this spot is coming in as one of my favorites to work and to have lunch from. And trust me, I've tried a lot throughout Medellin. My favorite places to eat, day trips, contact information for trusted drivers, and so much more I'm going to leave in a full Medellin guide. Trust me, this isn't Visit La Comuna 13. This is much more. This is how to experience Medellin like a local with places that you actually can't miss when coming to Medellin. I'll leave the link below. Work sesh is complete. I have to admit that this has been one of the coolest co-working spots that I have found literally around the world. So once you come in, it's this beautiful, beautiful building. It's called La Vida de Matt, the life of Matt, which I have no idea who that is, but we will find out. So you come into this building, you have a restaurant where they have breakfast and lunch. They have a breakfast of the day and a lunch of the day. The lunch of the day was 13,000 pesos, Colombian pesos, which is, let's see, wow, $3.30. I hadn't even realized that. And today, because it was my lucky day, the menu of the day was una frijolada, which is like a bowl of beans, but it's like the typical beans from Medellin, and they do like ground beef and avocado in it and sweet plantains. Like, it is life. It is delicious, and that's what the menu of today was. It was absolutely stunning. And then behind the restaurant, they have this full bookstore, which is also actually one of my favorite bookstores in Medellin. It's called Books. They have different locations around Medellin, and they actually have one right here, which is very, very cool. I did see that there's an elevator with like a scan card thing to go up. So I'm sure they have like offices and companies up there. It's obviously restricted, so we're not going up there. And then they have this really cool space. This is called El Taller. This is where the co-working is. It's 2 huge tables. You can sit down, you can work. You have outlets right here under each spot. There's no loud music. It's been so perfect. I finished editing my video, and I was actually planning on going to a second spot today. But this place has been so good and so great for me to get so productive that the day is basically over. So the other one we'll have to see if we go to today or if we end up going to on a different day, because it is a co-working, but it's not used for co-working at night or in the afternoonish, because it is on a rooftop, and it's also Friday. So I'm sure Friday after 6 p.m., like on a rooftop, no one's showing up with their computers, that's for sure. Anyways, overall, this spot for co-working, La Vida de Matt, 10 out of 10. You even have coffee and the water of the day, which is kind of like a juice, included. Unlimited. We've been chugging it because it's so delicious. We're back. We didn't make it to the rooftop, but I promise I'll show it to you later on. And we still have a couple more spots. Hold on, it's a little dark. Hello, look at this light. Everyone needs to have this light. I'll show you the rooftop later on. And there's also about 2 to 3 more spots, including one of the most accessible places to work from just because of its location. It's super central. It's one of the spots that if you come to Medellin, you're definitely going to be working from there at least one day. Now, I did continue my walk through La Vida de Ma, and what I found out is that they are actually a clothing brand. They had one of their stores in the back near the CoWork. Their clothes are super, super cute. And I guess that their whole building, this is like the headquarters. I'm guessing that they have other offices there, but that's what the logo that you see all around the co-working and all around the building is. It's an actual clothing brand, which I had no idea about. Good morning, it's the last week in Medellin, gym check, and now we're heading out to the most famous, the most common, the most accessible co-working, in my opinion, here in Medellin. So let's put all this stuff in the bag, computer, phone, and I think that's all we need for today. And we're off to go work. Take this one today because I like that I can put the computer in and it also zips up. So we're taking that, camera, wallet, hand sanitizer, and this fan. This fan that I literally got at the dollar store in Sarasota. It was my friend's bachelorette, and I knew it was gonna be hot. It was like midsummer in Florida, and this was the only design that they had. But, you know, manifesting all these dollars. We always take this just in case. Just in case. And that's it. That's all we need. Camera equipment, phone, and we're off. Let's go. So we've been in Medellin for 2 months now, and I honestly think it is going to be in one of my top 3 of places to work and live from and travel. What about you?
Top 5.
Gabe says that it's a bit like too much party for him. And I get it, but I don't agree. So this spot is actually really close to our Airbnb. So we're gonna walk there and I'll give you the full tour. And we made it to Selena, which is super famous amongst digital nomads, full-time travelers, remote workers, because they always have not only their location, but also a co-working spot. So there is a dedicated co-working. This is what's called the Garden, and they have salsa and bachata class and nights during the week. It's a lot of fun. This is more of like an open space area, but if you want like your dedicated workspace, you can go check out the CoWork. And they also have Home, which is their coffee shop. We're gonna go there after we get a little work done here. This is a great spot. You have a lot of seating areas. You can come here with friends and it's a great vibe. Side note, whenever you're connecting to any public internet hotspot, whatever it is, always use a VPN. I use NordVPN and it works super great anywhere in the world. And it also works if you're trying to watch your favorite shows on Hulu or Netflix and you're traveling, a VPN is always needed. So we're moving to the second spot, and I was in the middle of saying that Gabe says it's a bit too party for him, which I totally get, but it's also in the area that we're in. We're in Poblado and Provenza, which is like the main area where all the clubs are, all the main restaurants are. So I get why he's saying that, but I definitely think that there's a community for everything. I think we've found huge communities of wellness groups, like activities to go on a hike, tons and tons of activities that don't necessarily all involve going to parties. So if party is not necessarily your thing every day of the week, then I think there's definitely more things to do, right? Right. In general, I would overall still recommend staying in the Poblado Provenza area, just because you have tons of places like this in walking distance. This is just one of them. And not only that, but you have a lot more cafeterias and cafes that are super, super comfy to work from. These are more like sit-down co-working spots, but cafeterias and coffee shops, there's thousands on every corner with great Wi-Fi. Work spot number 2. So after lunch, we headed out to the second spot that we were gonna work from. And this, we're going from the most common and accessible to probably the one that I was the most surprised about and one of the coolest in my opinion. If you're staying in the area that I recommend, El Poblado Provenza, anything honestly that's on my entire list of places that I recommend, the majority, 99%, is going to be max a 10 to 15 minute Uber drive away. And this was exactly the case with this one. So from the Salina to El Tesoro was about a 10-minute drive. And here we are at El Tesoro, which is Medellin's biggest and coolest mall. Anything that you can think of, it's here. They have all the places to eat. They have, of course, the movie theater, every store you can think of. They even have rides downstairs for kids, which I've honestly wanted to get on the little roller coaster. I don't know if I'm gonna have time, but it definitely looks cool. And best of all, it has a co-working space. And not only one, but multiple ones throughout the mall. These spots are super cool. It has Wi-Fi, tons of outlets. You see everyone just sitting there and working. You have the fresh air coming through. So you have great vibes. The seating is super, super comfortable, and it's a great place to come with friends or by yourself to get some work done. And today, after the work sesh, the idea is to go to the movies since we're already here. Gabe loves the movies, and we honestly go in every country that we're in. So it's time to check out the Colombian movie theater and compare the popcorn against all the other ones that we've tried in the world. The popcorn rating was all right. The best in the world is still Thailand. And as you can see, this is no longer Medellin. Unfortunately, I ran out of time, so I couldn't make it to the rooftop, but I'm definitely going to add the rooftop to the Medellin guide along with the best places to eat. Like all my speakeasy hidden gems that I found are going to be on that list. Coffee shops, things to do, places to stay, all the best day trips from Medellin, including contact information from all my trusted drivers, and so much more. It's basically 2 months of research in a guide so you can just show up and enjoy Medellin. And of course, things that aren't inside the guide, La Comuna 13, the graffiti tour, like all the usual things that you can find on Google, that's not inside the guide. Inside the guide is more like the local stuff, the hidden gems, the places that you can't miss out on. Now this time I decided to skip Cartagena and instead come to the beautiful San Andres Island, which I highly recommend you add to your list to come to after going to Medellin. The water is crystal clear. The locals are one of a kind. And of course, like I do on every trip, my top tips I'll share through Instagram because trust me, this island has so much to see. However, the only little thing to keep in mind, and the reason why I didn't end up staying a full month here, is that when we're talking in terms of places to work from, that's something that this island is definitely lacking. Unlike Medellin, which honestly has some on every corner, but I think overall there's a clear winner, even amongst the ones that I picked as my top favorite. But trust me, they're all worth checking out, so let me know what you think of them when you head over to Medellin. If you love this video, make sure to also check out my video on the best places to work from in Lisbon. And stay tuned because my next stop is a country that I'm super excited about. I've never been there before, and it starts with the letter B. So go ahead and take a guess down below. Let's see if someone can hit the spot and nail where I'm going to next. Bye-bye!